be very important. And to make the decision on what cards to run and which cards to cut. Maybe those Weapon Masters will find their way into those decks. Maybe some Weapon Masters will be rotated out for more consistency. You know, taking away that RNG as well, being like, hey, yeah, I could hit Scouts, but I could hit Scouts, right? I don't have a guarantee to hit it. I'd rather put in more Green Fang Wardens, put in more Valors to guarantee myself that Scout. Or something along those lines, you know? There's a couple of things to take into account. As we head into Game 1 here, at a wonderful timing, we do see that, Kai'Sa Vayne that we've talked about going up against that Vayne Jarvan Vi from KyzzyDragon.
Yeah, absolutely. It is going to be interesting to see the difference between these two decks because, you know, Lazyguga has a defined win condition, that being your Kai'Sa, whereas Kizzy, I mean, we've both been staring at it for 2 different matchups now. Still don't see what the win con is in this deck, but hey, it won very handily last time, so there's definitely power behind it.
Brute force, I'm telling you, the win con is just brute force.
And hey, that can just work sometimes.
Yeah, violence sometimes can be the answer. And yeah, Kizzy seems to, I feel like that's really just what this deck is meant to be. It's just like, hey, look at my units, look at my stats, look at my tempo that I'm able to generate. I will just overpower you. And if you do not have the answers to my units, then my units will just beat your units. However, if you have those answers, I may be in a bit of trouble. I wonder if Lazyguga can have those answers. Right now, we do see both champions in, well, hand and play for Lazyguga, and only a Vayne for Kizzy. And also, we see that one of Radiant Guardian also chilling in the hand, which could be impactful in the future here. To maybe heal up a bit, maybe put on a big big wall, because the Radiant Guardian is well equipped in stats and keywords. So this could be one of those challenges for KyzzyDragon's deck to overcome.
Yeah, absolutely. And gonna block that with Vayne. A little surprised to see that. Vayne is one of those champions that you want to keep alive at all costs, and gonna be punished by the one of Shield of Durand that Kizzy runs. Very big problem to be having there, because now one Vayne is definitely a couple steps ahead of the other, and Lazyguga probably kicking themselves over that choice.
Yeah, losing the Vayne, especially in the tete-a-tete here, where now one player is able to get the tumbles, where the other player is limited to 1 tumble right now, can definitely hurt. The good news is we have Kai'Sa to take her place very soon, and now, okay, I like what's going on here. Getting the evolve as well, which means Kai'Sa is now leveled, and this Belvethi Elder, you said that she's, grown in popularity, although I do feel like she's always kind of been around. Now being a 6-4 tough spell shield, putting just damage on the Nexus, and soon a prime target for Kai'Sa to try to cheat off and get the second skin with all those keywords to herself.
Yeah, absolutely. Tough spell shield. Really good to take both of those. Obviously, the spell shield keeps you alive from the strikes that are going to try and come through from Kizzy's side here. And the tough just helps you survive a little bit more in case they do manage to pass that first barrier. Now, we're in a situation where Kizzy's in kind of an iffy hand state. I'm not really sure what you want to go with here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It feels... it's not Harpy turn yet. It's like, and I've played a couple of Harpies in this past week, and every time I'm on turn 5 and I have a Harpy in hand, I'm looking at my hand, I'm like, oh, I don't want to. I want to play the Harpy now. It's like I don't want to play anything right now. I just want to play the Harpy, but I can't because I don't have the mana yet. So we do get to go through a actually pretty big swing dealing with the Belvethi Elder here, at least one of those Elders. But the cards, as you said, kind of not really anything you really want to play right now, because anything that you play means that your turn is over. And now the Kai'Sa is just free to come down and actually equip her Story Guardian attire.
And it would have been a bit more concerning at the beginning of the turn, where that single combat from the Broadwing would have just taken that Kai'Sa out immediately. But luckily that is no longer the case, now being down to a 1-1, and the only unit you really have to threaten is with Vayne, who you don't really want to threaten a Kai'Sa with your Vayne, who's seemingly, I think, one attack away from leveling here.
Yes, Vayne is close to level. We can tumble to just do it, I guess, but that would be a bit counterproductive. However, now we do have the freedom to just play whatever we like, because neither player has mana, and we do go for the combat cook, which means that we will get another weapon to potentially put on the Harpy as well in the future. And the Overwhelm definitely doesn't feel bad, because a Harpy with Overwhelm all of a sudden turns into a big, scary creature. Oh, but the Merciless Hunter could be coming through as well. Looks like we're trying to go for the Tough Scout Challenger on the Kai'Sa though, which also would do a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely. And you still have that tumble from your Vayne in hand.
Actually putting the, just putting the Scout on the Kai'Sa raw. I mean, not the Scout, putting the Aegis on the Kai'Sa raw.
I do think... Yeah, I think that's the right choice, honestly, because you could put it on Valor, but Valor is a little exposed right now. Any strike spell that Kizzy could have, you know, there's room for a concerted, there's room for a single combat, which we can see Kizzy has. Valor is much more susceptible to that than Kai'Sa is. So putting it directly on the Kai'Sa is not only letting her grow in power, but just keeping her a little bit safer. And making sure that you can get, you know, that Challenger and Scout, because otherwise you're making Valor a huge target. And at that point, I think you're like, all right, well, you know, I want to be able to save my combat cook for later, but I'm not afraid to instead just take out this Valor here that's going to be a bigger threat.
Yeah, and it looks like the inspired parts are actually what is picked up by the Harpy. Now, I closed the wrong deck list, which means I cannot read up on the inspired parts, but I'm sure you know what that card actually does.
Inspired Plans, as it's called, is a 2-mana equipment, +1/+1, and whenever you attack with that unit, it creates a new 2-cost spell in hand that is fleeting. It's effectively meant to help turbo level Seraphine, but definitely, you know, again, as we see with cards like Ambitious Cultist being run, it's not bad to just kind of randomly create some just out of nowhere 2-cost card that can make a game for you. Very surprised to see Lazy challenging the Harpy here. I guess wanting to get rid of it, but the problem with that is we see the single combat, and while there may not be a response to that this turn, there are absolutely responses to it next turn, and Lazy doesn't have really too many options themselves. Although I suppose you can go for the tumble here, try and push as much damage as you can after you finish attacking with this Belvethi Elder, the Kai'Sa, and the Valor. And okay, no, I'm actually seeing Lazy's plan a little bit more here now.
I must fight.
Okay, yeah, now we pull the Calm, or we actually pull the Broadwing here. I'm not sure what actually gets hit by the Acathian Rain here. Not sure if there's an angle to kill the Vayne. I mean, getting rid of the Harpy also makes sense, and I don't know if I hate the Belvethi Elder attack either, because as you said, the Tumble can do a lot of work, but it looks like we are, okay, going for Harpy, going for the Broadwing, and pressing OK, putting extra damage on Vayne as well as the Combat Cook, which means, yeah, this next Kai'Sa attack should just put an end to both of those cards as well, right? Big thanks to the Acathian Rain.
Yeah, you have to probably sacrifice your Cook here as the blocker, just so that way Kai'Sa doesn't get the strike in. But again, the next time she attacks, Vayne's going to be taking that hit, and you're going to lose your Vayne, and you'll have the Belvethi Elder as backup to, you know, serve as another attacker. Really good turn here for Lazyguga. Yeah, only doing 2 with the Acathian Rain, but the next time you attack, you have the additional 5-power blocker, and Vayne's actually going to die here anyway.
Yeah,
oh, that's just the game.
Well, no. How do we attack? I mean,
oh, she didn't activate the attack with Scout. My bad. Sorry,
we attacked thrice this turn. We did attack 1 on the Harpy, then attack 2 on the Harpy again, and then attack 3 with the Tumble. But that's the max attacks we can get in a turn with those cards that we had available to. So now KyzzyDragon does have 1 turn to figure something out here. But this Kai'Sa is a beast. And I can see why this is, you know, so powerful, because all of a sudden, a Caffeine Rain kind of becomes a big thing, because the Kai'Sa free attack is like, yes, she's big, she has a lot of keywords, she can attack for free, but every time she attacks, she will like let that rain down to Africa and just destroy your board and your nexus as well, slowly but surely.
Yeah, and Kizzy just looking for answers here, not really finding them. What did Ambitious Cultist generate? It generated the draw, I'm guessing, that already got used. Because I do not see...
does it make it free? It generated...
It does make it free.
The card that lets you re-trigger a Nightfall effect and also draw.
Okay, well, it is nice to grab a riposte there. That is actually a way of, if the Kai'Sa, you know, now goes at you, although no, it's just going to be popped by the Acathian Rain, so the barrier doesn't matter whatsoever. Yeah, Kizzy just not with any options here. And I think the game just goes Lazyguga.
Oh, we do have single combat.
That is true, actually. That is a way of getting rid of the Kai'Sa.
That is true. But we do still have, yes, we do get rid of the Kai'Sa, and our little deer is gonna be the last survivor on the board. Oh no, actually we do manage to keep alive our cultists as well. However, we do have to face off against a 6/6 with Overwhelm, and also a 5/3, supported by potentially a Merciless Hunter and a Broadwing. So I'm not even sure if he can go wide enough to survive the swing. Going for a tumble here as well. That means no access to the Jural here.
Yeah, looks like just trying to trade down units, but I mean, on the side of Lazyguga, you have so many options for how you might want to back this up, and not even going to take the trade, feeling confident because you can put down that Radiant Guardian and immediately heal back a decent chunk of that damage that you just took. And Kizzy just choosing to make tall units instead of wide units. You've got the Broadwing potentially, but you've got the Merciless Hunter as well. And all you need is just the right combination of units to hit through strong. And that should be the game here this turn on the side of Lazyguga.
Yeah, we even put, even play second skin. Why
just
not?
In case. You never know.
Yeah, literally just in case. We can also play the Darken Ages. There we go. What target shall we choose? We choose the Radiant Guardian. Really radiating that tough into my eyes right now. Thank you very much for that shiny light being gone.
Oh, but it appears on the Elkin instead.
It appears in the void, and so is Kizzy's life total. Losing this first, I believe, stole the first game, right? That went very long.
Yeah, quite a long game, but that was the first one.
Yeah, but that's how these matchups roll, because, you know, when the Vayne faces the Vayne, and a lot of people tumble, they do a lot of trading. But at the end of the day, Kai'Sa being a big knocker here, and at the time we were able to deal with her, it was way too late, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So now it's going to be interesting to see whether we see a somewhat similar deck in the form of Scouts come through here, or if it's the Seraphine Ezreal. That semi-elusive deck that has been not showing, but there it is right there. Alright, so now we get to commentate the fun, random, wacky mayhem that is Seraphine spell generation. Can't wait to see what the fan club president can get for us this time.
I hope she doesn't level. I hope she doesn't level, because I don't know. It's getting very late at night. I'm not sure if I can hold back on my Seraphine Sing for another animation. I'm not sure if I can do that. So it's gonna be Kizzy, you gotta try to stop her from leveling. Otherwise, I might have to go and match her level up animation, because I kind of want to.
I cannot blame you for wanting to. It is. I mean, I don't like Seraphine, but it is fun to sing along every now and again.
I also don't like her, but I do really like the voice line. Ever since I heard it first in League of Legends, I thought it was so funny. It was like, I thought it was just so nice. Such a nice voice, or it's not such a nice like sound. how do you say, like audio? Yeah, I guess that's the word I'm looking for. Nice audio cue. Speaking of audio cues, this flock, the Sentry flock combo, tried and true, bread and butter for the Noxus region here, taking care of the first Vayne very early, slowing down Kizzy's potential level up of the Vayne. However, we did get one tumble, at least in our hands, that we can make use of in the future, but the discount that Vayne provides does not come through, so it is going to stay at 3 mana for now.
The Sentry Flock combo, very good at causing an audio cue from your mouth to scream, as usually that's hitting a unit that you want to stay on the board. Now Combat Cook kind of come down here, potentially, you know, find that scout. And that'd be definitely great for Kizzy to find. Although potentially, you know, looking at the hand right now, all you really have is that Blood-Cursed Harpy. So you might want to instead go the direction of, you know, maybe you have a Quick Attack right now, maybe you have an Overwhelm right now. And it is the Quick Attack one, so, you know, maybe you're playing for a little bit later trying to get to that turn 6 Harpy, who will only be able to attack on turn 7 with the current attacking order. But still, you know, potentially a long game play there.
Quick Attack on Harpy is very, very good. I do still feel like, I mean, the Upcycle Rake is very crazy in Vayne decks, but I think currently in the meta, I do think that the Quick Attack one, the Fix 3000, I believe.
Fix 5,000, I want to
Is
say?
it 5,000?
I don't know these things. I believe it's 5,000.
It is a Fix'em, nonetheless, and I do think that is currently the best equipment in the meta because Quick Attack feels so powerful, especially in this very unit-based meta. Besides, you know, Seraphine decks coming through, everything Vayne is unit-based, and if you have Quick Attack and your opponent doesn't, you usually have a sort of lead, and oh boy, we top deck a Mystic Shot, being able to get rid of the Combat Cook, not yet, because we don't have the mana, but potentially in the future. And I think the only thing the one thing Lazyguga would really like to see right now is something to get rid of equipment to stop the Harpy from being a Quick Attack menace in the future.
Absolutely. You might be able to hit that off of your Barkeep. Barkeeps do tend to be really good at just giving you that random thing you kind of need. You know, and that's what you need sometimes. Your nice friendly barkeeper to just warm you up with a nice drink of Hexobliteration, and suddenly your opponent loses their Quick Attack. I'm sure there's a metaphor you can make there instead. But we're going to see the Flock come out to take care of the Combat Cook, put the Quick Attack weapon back in Kizzy's hand, and now that Harpy is poised to strike in 2 turns.
And there's another card that I'm looking at in Kizzy's hand, and it's the double, or it's the 2 of Aftershock. Actually able to close the bar for good and destroy it. So, you know, Lazyguga may not have access to those discounted spells like he would like to, because the Aftershock is just going to deal with the bar.
Yeah, absolutely. I was initially looking at that as a potential combo to, you know, take care of Seraphine. But you're absolutely right that it can instead be used to take care of the bar. It is going to be down for at least a little bit here, and I'm not sure if you're going to want to immediately Aftershock the bar right away. You might want to take your time with that one instead. I'm not quite sure what card that is. I believe that is Ember Monk, the Mortal card, which I think has some benefit for every time you summon an ally. It's either summon or recall, and I don't know why I know these things, but apparently I know too much about this game.
I mean, it is summon, and I do know that card very well because it is one of the craziest cards that you can get in a Nora deck. Actually, back then when, you know, Nora was still played, right now she's taking a bit of a hiatus, it seems, in the meta. But when Nora was still, you know, up and running, and you got a Ember Monk from a portal, and then you just would summon, you know, more units from more portals, the Ember Monk would just turn into a big attacker at some point, also being equipped with Quick Attack. So yes, the Ember Monk could potentially grow pretty scary, although, you know, Lazyguga are not necessarily piloting a deck that likes to summon a lot of units. It's more about playing a lot of spells. But in Nora, like, the Ember Monk was actually a great target to hit, but not yet a main decked card. But when you hit it from like a portal, it definitely felt really good to hit.
Yeah, absolutely. That definitely makes sense to me. And it is, yeah, as you said, it's worth noting that this is a spell-based deck and not a unit-based deck. Only having a total of 9 followers in here with back alley bar being able to summon you, 3 more back alley bar keeps, but not any units in here other than that. So it's a good card, and a native 2-3 quick attack stat line that can grow is certainly not anything to complain about, but also not exactly something you can make a lot of use of right now.
Okay, my question is, when do we aftershock the bar? Because Kizzy has a couple of Elkins and a Tumble in the hand, and that's it. I feel like there's not much that we can do to that isn't destroying a bar right now, that isn't committing arson, and so yeah, I feel like it's just, we could have gone for it earlier if we wanted to maybe hurt the economic for Lazyguga, because that those discounts would have been in vain. It would have gone those cards would have gone up to their original pricing. We do choose to attack first, but Lazyguga does have answers here in the Transmogul. Oh, not okay. I was getting Transmogulating the Harpy, but I guess we are just drawing those cards. But now, we do find the High Note, but the High Note does not. No, the High Note actually does save Seraphine, because we can play.
No, I don't believe it duplicates itself, and that's the only card that you have. Oh no, with the Disintegrate. Okay, I did not notice that one at all, and that also gets Seraphine level too. I was a little surprised.
It's fine.
Okay, we survived this time.
No worries, I have myself under control, but now it is going to be fine with the Disintegrate and the High Note, and yes, the Seraphine is fine.
And now I'm getting slightly concerned for our audience's ears going towards Grand Finals, as that flipped Seraphine can lead to a very good win condition. And now we're seeing those Aftershocks come down. They're not targeting the bar, they're targeting the singer at the bar and bringing her down, even though she leveled.
Alright, yeah, no, but that's a decent... I mean, it's kind of what we have to do at this point, because Seraphine's value is just too crazy, but this means that the bar does stay open. And now with Ezreal on the top deck horizon as well, the dynamic duo from Piltover is live, or potentially live, and that could lead to a insane clip, because we've seen, I mean, on Twitter, we've seen people OTK at burst speed, go from 20 to 0 with the help of Seraphine and Ezreal. And KyzzyDragon does hopefully not, or definitely does not want to end up on a highlight reel. So it's gonna try everything to prevent that from happening, but the possibility is there. And the Emperor Monk actually coming through just to probably block the Harpy, just to be thrown in as fodder for the beast, so to distract it from the Ezreal and the Seraphine.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kizzy not really having many other options except to try pushing an attack. And now we see Seraphine coming back down, and we know Ezreal is sitting in hand, pulling a single combat too. Not the greatest spell for this deck, but potentially something that if this game goes on for long enough, could lead to a potential toss-up situation.
I mean, it's target, so Ezreal is going to be happy about it.
Yeah, true. At worst case scenario, you're using that to just get Ezreal, triggered in his level 2.
Speaking of Ezreal, how far is he, is my question. Is he already leveled up? Does he have to go, a couple more times? I'm not sure about his state right now. We will probably find out soon as Lazyguga decides to put him on the board.
There it is.
Okay, we will find out right now. He is leveled indeed, and he is going to hit. Oh yeah, he's going to connect to the Nexus as well, which means that we do get a free, well, not a free Mystic Shot. Oh, never mind. Okay, we're not going to go for the Mystic Shot, going for double Valor instead.
Using the Valors as blockers, I like that. Very good strategy there, and getting Ezreal down first lets you get those Mystic Shots beginning to come out from him as he starts to hit that Nexus again and again. And now you don't even have to worry about risking your Seraphine or Ezreal as blockers. You can just block with the Valors and the Ember Monk if you want to. And you're not even killing the Harpy there, so yeah, that's a pretty good situation to be in right now for Guga. just taking this block, and Kizzy sitting on an empty hand. Yes, you have 3 units and decent attacks going on, but Lazyguga has a lot of control available right now.
Yeah, this is just game, because look at this. We have draw, we have Seraphine, we have Ezreal, he's leveled. I think this is just like we have double Rummage, right? And now we have
the
Song
Spinner, just in case you were curious.
J3? But J3 is without J4. He doesn't have a stun, so he draws his stun instead of getting absolutely insane keywords. Pokey Stick as well, and that's 2 Pokey Sticks, mind you. This is GG Heavy Metal.
Heavy Metal, God.
It's over.
Really good Song Spinner to pull from there.
Put him on a highlight reel.
Yeah.
Put him on a highlight reel. This is GG. Lazyguga showing off why Ezreal Seraphine is such a demon deck right now. Because look at this. We're on 12, blink once, and we are probably gonna be at 0.